Hello, you are listening to the RxConnect podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the pharmacy operations at the American Oncology Network. We are committed to delivering operational, clinical, and financial efficiencies based on the most sustainable model, reshaping the future of community oncology practice. I am your host, Melody Chang, Vice President of Pharmacy Operations at the American Oncology Network. In today's episode, we will delve into the transformative role of artificial intelligence in oncology. We will explore how AI is reshaping daily workflows, enhancing decision making, and the ethical dimensions it brings to the forefront of cancer care. Stay with us as we navigate this crucial development. And don't forget to visit our website at www.aoncology.com to listen to the podcast and read the transcript. Let's dive into a conversation filled with insights and forward thinking perspectives on the integration of AI in oncology. Joining us today is Mark Moch, the Chief Informatics Officer at Aon and a member of the MIBA leadership team, which is a cutting edge data source for cancer research, clinical trial matching, pharma utilization, and new drug development. Mark has been instrumental in developing technology solutions that not only support but enhance the quality of patient care. Today, he will share insights on how innovative technology is propelling precision oncology forward. We are also thrilled to have Dr. Manale Maksour with us. She's a board certified pharmacotherapy specialist with over 15 years of experience in the healthcare industry. Dr. Maksour serves as a regional clinical pharmacist at Aon for the West region, and she will discuss the impact of pharmacy informatics in oncology care and how it contributes to optimizing patient outcomes. Welcome, Dr. Maxwell, and welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Melody. Pleasure to
Hi,
be here.
Melody. Nice to be here too as well.
Thank you. So I will start with Mark. As the Chief Informatics Officer at Aon, could you tell us what future advancements in AI technology are you most excited about for oncology care?
Yes, thank you, Melody. This is a great question. It's a really loaded question because AI is becoming a bigger part of our lives anywhere we turn. To a certain degree, in our daily lives, we've been with AI for quite some time now. We're using Alexas and Siris and others, not even realizing that on the back end of it, there are big models that are running those algorithms for us. So I'm very, very excited that now we are getting into the healthcare space where this is becoming a big thing, and now we are starting to pay attention to what that future technologies can possibly do for us. We are at the brink of breaking through in healthcare with how the AI and the technology is going to be used in the future. There is still a way to go. We realize that this is not a short term, quick application of new technology. This is going to take a little while here for us to get to where this is a legit clinical decision support tools, etc. However, we have to start somewhere, and we need to start building on it and keep moving forward here. We have a unique situation right now, knowing that beating all the records as far as the cancer diagnosis goes. We know that we're gonna have 22 million cancer survivors by the 2030. Right now, we're diagnosing close to 2.5 million patients, which is obviously big numbers, and at the same time we have only 19,000 cancer doctors, which obviously they cannot support that major population effectively. And if you layer on top of it the amount of data from the coming to physicians from research and studies, it's just impossible to gather this all together in a short period of a time when you're sitting in front of the patient and you need to make the clinical decisions using the latest information possible to try to navigate the complexity of what the nowadays drugs, genomic mutations related are. Obviously, this cannot be done without the technology, and AI dealing with the multi-million of data points and bringing this all together will help us solve it. It's not coming without a lot of questions, obviously, and a lot of how we can do this right way. But it is very exciting. It is exciting for people like me who are living in technology world, and now we are realizing that future of our healthcare is built around the technology. It will never change. We will always be involving technology, and all the physicians gonna need the technology to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot agree with you more. And I know since you serve as a member of the MIBA leadership team, could you tell us more about MIBA and how does MIBA contribute to the advancement of cancer research and the treatment optimization?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm very excited about MIBA, which is short for Meaningful Insights Biotech Analytics. It's a separate tax ID company that is majority owned by Aon. We've built this company with the one sole purpose. We want to deliver the highest quality precision oncology supports to our physicians, as well as the highest quality oncology data set that goes back to our pharma partners, to our payers and others for the clinical trials and research as well. We took a fundamental approach to it and looked at where we are from our system standpoint and what we currently have in those systems. And pretty quickly, and not a big secret, we realized that there is a vast majority of the documents that are coming to us are coming in an unstructured format. We get a lot of PDFs, we get a lot of scans. We talking about AI here, but still, we are faxing a lot still in healthcare, which is blowing my mind always. How we are talking about AI and we're still using fax as a technology for healthcare. What that really translates to is that we have a lot of data that sits in a very siloed places, completely separated, and it's very difficult for the physician to navigate through all of this to get to the right points, right? So we built MIBA and we decided that we're gonna not only extract all of that data from the unstructured field, so we're getting all of the PDFs and the results that comes from radiology, labs, etc., all of the physician notes, all of the documentation that patients bring with them when they're first diagnosed. We extract all of that data. We run NLP engines and we run large language models to help assist extract all of the data into the structure field. And then we have a team that goes behind them and does manual human curation of that data. So we're pretty much validating that what the engines and AI did is accurate and that exactly to what it actually is on the paper. So we're doing like a manual check to make sure that the quality of the data is the highest possible. And then we start bringing additional data from sources from outside, which is, for example, genomic labs and the results of the panels. They're coming to us in discrete form. So we're not talking about the PDFs, like 90% of the physicians are getting PDFs into their inbox and they're looking through the reports. We're actually taking all of that data discretely directly from lab and binding this with our clinical data, our claims data, and we're painting a very nice longitudinal patient journey view that we can then present and surface to the physician at the point of care with the suggestion to what possibly is there that they might have missed, or there is anything that coming to from a research site and a new evidence that suggests that we could look at the different treatments, etc. So a lot of everything that we do around MIBA is really focused on how can we help physicians drive to better patient outcomes with the data at the foundation. The data is the foundation for everything. What nobody is saying is is the fact that if you don't have a really clean and accurate data, AI is really difficult to do right.
Right, right. You're absolutely right. Data is the foundations of everything, especially for the healthcare industry. But we are a little bit slow adoptions of all those technology and innovations. I'm glad to see there's advancement on the MIBA development within AI. So my next question is going to be asking for Dr. Maksour. As a clinical pharmacist, how has the integration of the AI impacted your daily workflow and the decision-making process? And could you give us some examples?
Sure. Thank you for your question. So before that, I'm just going to touch real quick at AI in the clinics for the providers because that is huge. You know, that our providers are seeing so many patients, and just like Mark mentioned, with all the data that's coming and all the new studies, all the new drugs, uh, it's getting harder and harder to keep up. So we have actually AI is integrated within Flatiron Assist, which is in Onco EMR, our EMR platform at Aon, and it does help analyze a large amount of data, patient data quickly. That includes the imaging, the genomic testing, and that helps them select the best evidence based treatment specific for that patient. And it saves them a lot of time too, versus doing their own research and looking at the results. For us, as a pharmacist, I do rely heavily on Aon's dashboard, and that gives me a lot of information about patient therapies. So the dashboard that we have is also powered by AI, and it feeds real time patients' data. We use it to request changes, to optimize therapy, ensure the NCC guidelines, we're adhering to it, and then reduce the cost.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Aon pharmacy operations absolutely benefit a lot from the dashboard implementations and then actually make our operational more efficient. Um, so my next question is also, I think a lot of patients will also have a concern as well. I will ask Dr. Maxwell, what ethical consideration do you believe are crucial when implementing AI in oncology practice, especially in the pharmacy?
So, because of how new AI is to our healthcare system, there is a lot of still of ethical considerations. That includes the accountability. For example, if a mistake happens, so is it our fault or is it AI fault, and who's really responsible for that? There's also the algorithm bias. So there's still people behind uh, uh, feeding the data for AI, and humans are biased, so there's also that problem. Also, patient confidentiality and the data security. So these are all concerns, and it is crucial to develop some standard guidelines for these ethical issues.
Right, right. And as we know, in late February this year, Change Healthcare, part of Optum, suffered a cyber attack, which impacted still thousands of patients. And I want to ask Mark, what strategies do you employ to ensure data privacy and security when using AI system to handle the sensitive patient information?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and there's just to tie back on the ethical side of it. There's a lot on that as well, and how we handle this, and what happens with the data as it comes into the system, how accurate the data is. The reality of AI is the that it's still math. That's what people have to remember. It's a math, but it's dealing with the models. There are multi-million data points, they are correlated, and in many cases that math goes through this whole process, and we don't necessarily fully understand what happens throughout the process until we get the answer on the other side. In which case, in many cases here, and you guys, I'm pretty sure familiar, heard about AI hallucinations. This is an exactly example of where AI is doing something because it thinks that it's right, but it's not necessarily right, and it could be caused by a number of things. I'm not going to go into details here, but there are different things that can cause this, right? But it pretty much shows you something that might be not accurate. In healthcare, this is absolute no. So we know that there is zero chance we can put any system in a place that could possibly produce something that could be used as a suggestion and then mistreat the patients in some way, right? Or harm the patients in some way. So there have to be very strong guardrails around how those processes are built, and the governance around the use of AI and the testing of an AI is one of the major and most important processes that we can think of. That's that danger element to where unless completely mitigated, it cannot be really fully used. Going to your question on a change healthcare and the whole situation with cybersecurity and how we leveraging AI for this, it's kind of interesting, right? Because we see a lot of examples of where the cybersecurity actors are bad actors are using AI in many cases to actually cause the breaches. We've seen situations from automated calls, and we see this all the news all the time. Automated calls. We've seen even situations where there was a person in a Zoom meeting that was shown as a picture of the CFO and was make believe that this is a real person and a real CFO, and it was made believe to send the money to somebody, and which was actually generated by the AI. So these techniques and how they bridge is getting like how they can cause the bridge and break into your network is getting more and more sophisticated. And what's really kind of interesting about this is the only way to deal with it and fight it is actually with AI. And so there's a lot of modern tools and a lot of security companies right now that are coming to market and continue to expand on where they leverage up major and big data sets to train the AI models to quickly figure out if what we're seeing is actual accurate data, if what we're seeing is compliant with the behavior of the user. So it's literally learning as we go through our daily routines. It's learning our normal behaviors, and then if something is done not the same way, it can catch it and can alert people that there is some weird activity going on here. So there's layers to this on how you can build this, because you can build this around the network, then you can build this around authentications, uh, and etc. So there is a very rigid program that we built at Aon to make sure that we have a layers and layers of security here before anything can touch the data or really look at anything. The one thing that I would mention is that the weakest link in any security program is always, unfortunately, human. And because we tend to be careless a little bit, and you can have a number of tools and anything you possibly can imagine there, but if you give away your password to somebody, it's just you giving away the keys to kingdom, and nothing we can do at that point, right? So there are still tools that we can possibly even catch after that. That's why we see moving a little bit more and more towards passwordless systems, to where you don't need a password and you need to verify your authenticity in different ways. I'm gonna see, and I see that this trend is gonna continue and gonna continue evolve into this direction. But I think the best tools to fight with this type of risks is actually AI.
Yeah, yeah, very, very insightful. Yeah, we actually do live in a fascinating world, but it cannot live our guard down because those AI hallucinations. I want to thank you, both of you, for sharing your invaluable insights today. It's clear that AI and advanced informatics are not just shaping the future of oncology, but also already transforming the present. We appreciate you both for taking the time to enlighten us and our listeners. So, before we conclude today's podcast, I'd like to thank our audience for listening. You can listen to all the podcast recordings on our website at www.aoncology.com. We hope you enjoyed this episode and look forward to seeing you at the next one. Thank you.